But there is a big protest coming. It is in, just about a week. It is in D.C. What is the protest called? Like
the March Against Mandates.
Are you sure it's called March Against Mandates?
No, but that's what I think it is.
Yeah, I don't think that's quite right.
So we have this story
Pretty
from
close.
Newsweek. Joe Rogan and Robert Kennedy Jr. to speak at conspiracy theorist vaccine mandate protest.
Oh my.
Wow, what a story, Newsweek. Ewan Palmer, or however you pronounce your name. I wonder where you got that information. I reached out to Joe Rogan for comment, and I said, are you going to this thing? And he said, no. And that was it. I'm like, why are they reporting he's going to this? But I suppose it's easier for me to ask him because I know him than it was for this journalist. But where the hell did they get this information to claim he was going to be there? I had to wonder because when I saw this, I was like, if I tell people Joe's not going to be there, less people will show up, right? Because if they genuinely thought Joe would be there, I mean, you might fill a stadium with people showing up. Is it possible this guy was like, I'm just going to say it because then everyone's going to want to be there? We saw it at Occupy Wall Street. They claimed Radiohead was coming. And thousands, like 10,000. How many people were there, Luke? It's like 10,000 people.
It was ridiculously
Radiohead
huge.
wasn't coming.
Yep. But
So
everyone
now-
was there right before they were about to allegedly sweep the park and kick everyone out.
They say he is listed as being among the speakers at the march, which ends at the Lincoln Memorial. So where does that come from?
Probably some fake news. Probably either someone trying to make sure that more people show up to this protest.
Yep.
I mean, we're talking about this protest now. I think it's a worthwhile protest. I don't know who sent them the information. Obviously, Brett Weinstein is also making sure that people understand that this is kind of fake news being spread out there. But there's going to be a lot of important people out there. I think it's an important protest. I think it's an important discussion that needs to be had in this country. As far as this fake news, I don't really have anything else to say other than that.
I'm sure both people that want people to show up and people that want to demonize this thing are going to be spreading a lot of information. I, for one, would love to see Americans stand up and rise up, and I've been disappointed that we haven't seen the same sort of massive marches. We're all on Twitter and we're watching these marches all across Europe, in Australia, everywhere, and there's been less of it in the United States. And I think we're due for a nice grassroots uprising, but I would again say I'm going to beat this dead horse. It's got to be peaceful because everybody's watching, and one bad actor will destroy your message and transform what could be a pivotal moment in American history.
And the feds are dying for an incident
dying.
to happen that will turn violent, that will hurt other people, that will work in their benefit. So they desperately want something like that to happen. I would even say as desperate as to even potentially manufacture it. That's my perspective.
So it is defeat the mandates,
Yes.
DC. And they say after they get to the Lincoln Memorial, recording artists, prominent doctors, journalists, pro athletes, actors, and premier thought leaders will give a series of inspiring talks and musical performances. I don't see if it says who is going to be there, though, or why they were claiming that it was going to be Joe.
Keeping it open, it looks like.
The FLCCC has also provided a lot of important information to a lot of people that even information that I personally used myself. And they do a lot of good work, so it's cool to see them involved here. Chris Martinson of Peak Prosperity is also going to be there. He's going to be speaking and participating. He's he's been on the show. He's a friend of mine as well. Dr. Malone, Dr. McCullough, and I'm not sure about Robert Kennedy Jr. I don't know if he's confirmed.
Does
or
conspiracy mean anything anymore? It doesn't mean anything, does it? The media is just like a conspiracy march. And I'm like, that doesn't mean anything. I literally don't care what you think. You are all crackpots. You believed the Covington kid BS. Imagine taking medical advice from people who believed Jussie Smollett. Sorry, the moment you said that, I'm just like, bro, I don't care what you have to say about conspiracy theories at all. Literally.
The spoiler alert march would be a more appropriate name for what's been happening here. And again, the corporate media is going to vilify it because it goes against a lot of their corporate media partners. And this is bad for business for the big industries that are tied to them. So obviously they're going to try to attack it in any way that they can.
It's only a matter of time before we get that email where it's like, hi, I'm with Pfizer and we'd love to sponsor your show. And then all of a sudden one day we're like, you know what? We're totally in favor of this. People should get 12 vaccines. Talk to your doctor about your 12th vaccine today.
Oh my gosh, no.
No, we won't play those games.
Be interesting to do a Pfizer ad and then at the end, after the ad, be like, yeah, Pfizer's trash. This authoritarian corporation. Like, I wonder if that'd be good. That'd be fun.
If I ever received anything where it was like, we'd like to sponsor your show, I'd probably just publish all the documents. And I'm saying that now, so it'll definitely never happen.
Yes.
But I would thoroughly enjoy being like, thank you for the request. Here's Twitter. Here's what they're sending people.
I would love to see Tim Pool brought to you by Pfizer.
That'd be awesome.
All of a sudden, I'm wearing a suit.
Yeah.
We're in a different room.
Pfizer beanie.
We're in an
Pfizer
office
beanie.
building. We're all wearing,
Dress clothes.
black tie suits.
Oh my gosh.
Luke's pronouncing everything correctly. It's just
Those are
absolutely
body
crazy.
doubles.
It's bizarro Pfizer world.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say this. Luke, you're going to be at the protest?
Yes. I'm
I
definitely
got to
going.
tell everybody, be careful because agent provocateurs, man.
Absolutely. That's why it's important to live stream. I'm going to be probably live streaming if I could get good cell phone signal and videotaping everything, making sure that, of course, we get everything on the record because the only thing really preventing and stopping something is being fully transparent,
Yep.
open, and honest about everything. And the best way to do that is to live stream. So I'm going to be live streaming on youtube.com/wearechange.
I'll just say, if I was there at a protest and I saw someone at something like this trying to act a fool or get violent, I would stop them. I would, and we saw that there was a lot of this. Some of this went on. There's really cool videos. There was a guy who was ripping bricks off out of the sidewalk.
Oh, yeah.
And then left-wing activists, grabbed him and dragged him to the police. And they were like, "Get him out of here. We do not want this." And then the cops even let one of the guys go. Like, he got caught up in it. And they were like, "Okay, you're cool." And they arrested the guy who was vandalizing stuff. That's what you need to see. Now, I don't know what people should do for legal reasons. I have no idea. So talk to the organizers, but don't let people do any of that crazy stuff because you will get some Antifa type who's going to show up wearing a MAGA hat and be like, "I'm going to make them all look crazy."
That's the problem is someone could go there, put on a MAGA hat and throw a brick. And then that gives the government authority to like send in troops.
Yeah,
One
so-
guy can do that. That's crazy.
So we dealt with this, and this is before smartphones were such a thing. But I was a Tea Party organizer, and we organized that massive march in 2009 on the Mall, and no arrests, no violence. A couple kids got lost. We found them again. It was like this beautiful bottom-up thing. But eventually, people that wanted to sort of smear our reputation showed up, and one of the tactics we used, which I believe we borrowed from the left, was we created signs that said, "This guy's not with us." And we would surround a bad actor. And we don't know if the guy's a bad actor from our side or their side. But if the behavior's wrong, if they were doing something violent or something racist, we would just surround them and they would just leave.
Yeah.
Because they were outed. And it's hard to police a grassroots movement, and the way that MLK did it with his March on Washington, it was very carefully scripted. The signs were created by the organizers. That's not how it works anymore. So you got to figure out some way to police your own community, have zero tolerance for bad behavior, no matter who's doing it.
What do you guys think is going to happen? Peaceful, massive. How many people you think?
Some people are estimating 100,000, but I think those are overinflated
It's
numbers. And
winter, man.
you usually see numbers overinflated, but at the same time, we haven't seen a protest here in the United States for a very long time. Compare that to what's been happening in France, in Austria, in Australia, in Germany, in the United Kingdom. There have been massive protests with tens of thousands of people, some instances even hundreds of thousands of people coming to the streets saying enough is enough. And I think just being able to see that kind of larger representation does have some kind of larger political change and does put into people's minds that they're not alone. And I think that's important.
Yes.
And I think peaceful rallying and peaceful protests are extremely important. And who knows what's going to happen, but I'm going to be there to see.
It's winter. We got a snowstorm coming this weekend. I don't want to be Debbie Downer, but I'm not confident.
I was just in my brain, I was just gonna call you a Debbie Downer. We were supposed to go hiking for like so long, and Tim's like, "No, it's gonna rain. It's raining." And then we go, and then it's not raining.
That's fake
and now
news.
we're supposed to go
That's
hiking
fake
this
news.
weekend,
That's
and
fake
Tim's like,
news.
"Oh, it's gonna snow. We're not going." I'm like,
It's fake news.
We're gonna go anyway." No, it's not. It's
It's
true
fake
news.
news.
It's absolutely true news.
Let me tell you the facts.
The first
It was actually raining. It was literally raining outside.
And I'm like-
Luke said, "Who cares? Let's go anyway." And I said, "Bro, it says it's going to keep raining until 2
I'm like,
p.m.
Yes.
I don't think it's good to drive 2 hours and then just be like, well, it was raining and we knew it was raining, and then waste the day driving 2 hours back." As it turns out, the rain stopped where Luke ended up going hiking, and he was fine. The only thing that really happened was I wasn't willing to take the risk, and Luke was, and it benefited Luke. That's the true news. Stop being fake news,
I
Luke.
keep telling you, the weather reports keep lying to you, man, just like the media does.
It's a
And then
psyop.
even if it is raining, it'll still be an interesting hike to go on. We just bring weather gear and still enjoy the hike rather than just
Now,
sit at home.
here's the false framing from Luke. While we were going to go hiking this weekend, there is a report that a major winter storm is coming. So what we said was, how about we go snowboarding or skiing instead? So we still go up to the mountain, we still get the views. And Luke said no.
No, when?
And then he has
no. Now
he
that's
has the
fake
nerve.
news. That's fake news on your part. I never said no on that part. You want to go like next weekend and
Well, yeah,
whatever.
because it's a couple hour drive through the snow. We have to stay the night. But Luke, you work Sundays, and then it's just. But that's the truth. That's not, Luke trying to smear me and trying to pull a daily beast over here.
You got me thinking, though, that if someone does decide to co-opt the weather system and want to give us the fake news, that's a good way because people trust that implicitly. I've never heard anyone question the weather.
Even when just this past weekend, they said it was going to rain, and then it didn't rain.
I'm telling you, there's no
But
reason to believe the news, Tim.
There was actually a meteorologist who pointed this out. He said when they were predicting this big winter storm, he was like, the weather system is in the Pacific Ocean. There's no way you can accurately predict what it's going to do in the next 2 weeks. So I guess it is still, for the most part, coming true in a lot of ways. It's not the same as the projection from 2 weeks ago, obviously, but we're supposed to get hit with a big winter storm. We're supposed to get very, very heavy snowfall out here. So that is bad news for us because fortunately it's happening over the weekend, but it usually means that it's harder to get out here. So we'll have to figure that stuff out.
Drive safely, everyone.
Yeah.
Yep. In the middle of nowhere, and the power could go out. Yikes.
It'll
Who
be
knows?
exciting.
Thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to watch live, you can check out this channel Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. And don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, and if you want more unfiltered and uncensored content with all of these guests, go to timcast.com and become a member. All of these guests you know and love in exclusive segments on our website where we are unrestricted in what we talk about, so you'll definitely not want to miss it. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you all next time.